Alright, so today we're comparing the brand new DJI Action 5 Pro with the Action 4, and as a control we got the Pocket 3 going. Came out to the Bamboo Forest, or I guess they've recently named it the Wilderness Park, but I figured this would be a really good spot to test low light, dynamic range, being in and out of all the shadows. And also there's been a lot of chatter online about bit rate and how the Action 5 Pro has a lower bit rate than the Action 4, so we're going to see if that makes a huge difference, which I don't think it really makes a whole lot of difference, but we'll find all that out today. So this is what we're looking at. We got the Pocket 3 in the middle, Action 4, Action 5. I got them both in, well, I guess they're all in cages. I did that so that I can turn them on vertical and get vertical video at the same time, just to see how they compare. But we're looking at image quality. We're going to do battery life, which I know the Action 4 doesn't stand a chance against the Action 5 for battery life. Of course, he'd fire up the lawnmower. We're doing internal audio on all of them. I do have the DJI mic recording externally. I have the lavalier mic on right here. I guess since he's deciding to cut grass over there right as the time we started recording, we'll keep on moving. But I don't know, I just want to show you how cool this is. So we're at the Wilderness Park, and this is a 26-acre bamboo forest that was originally put out here to train soldiers for combat in Vietnam in all the bamboo. So there's I think there's 3 different types of bamboo out here. It's really pretty. It's a good place to, of course, he kills a lawnmower right now. I do appreciate it. It's really, really pretty. Just look at this. Oh, it looks like oh wow, they put a new trail. Wow. Also, I got a new product that has a panda bear on the front of it, and I figured it'd be a good place to get B-roll for that while we're out here with all the bamboo. Yeah, this is a brand new trail. This wasn't here last time. All the cameras are set to automatic, like straight out of the box. If you hit record, this is what you're going to get. So I have auto ISO from 50 to, I believe, 3200 on all of them. Of course, the Pocket 3 is going to do a lot better than the other because of the 1-inch sensor, but the Action 5 Pro really has incredible low light capability. I mean, the Action 4 isn't much to, sneeze at either. It's very capable when it comes to low light. I mean, it's pretty dark where we're at now, but I'm just really stoked they put this new trail in here. Let me turn her. That's kind of creepy. I wonder if that's natural. Oh, I bet it's a lot of the storm damage. So I know a lot of people were pretty disappointed when the Action 5 did not come with the same 1-inch sensor that the Pocket 3 has. And I can understand why they did it. It is a brand new sensor, new to the Action 5. It's still the 1/1.3, but there's a new processor, it's a new sensor, and coupled with a 200 milliamp hour larger battery, that's how it's getting such a long battery life. Now, the 4-hour battery life that they're claiming is only in 1080p, 24 frames per second. But I was able to get about 200 minutes in 4K 30, which we're doing 4K 30 in all of these, except for the Pocket 3. Let me change that. It's in 4K 60. Okay, now we're in 4K 60. Alright, we got a pretty steep hill here. Let's see how well the stabilization is in such a low light environment. Usually low light is where the stabilization tends to fall apart, especially in automatic mode, but I certainly don't want to walk back up this hill. Oh wow, look at this place, y'all. It's so pretty. I'm hoping we get down here to some pockets of light. I did not want to bring my camera bag, but I didn't want to leave it in the car either. I brought the 100 to 400 just in case I wanted to get some shots of the pond though. There's a pretty big pond. Trying to get to a pocket of sunlight. With the Action 5 Pro, immediately adjusts for the overexposure on my hand, and the Action 4 never really actually adjusts for it. I don't know how I could show you how dark this actually is back here, but these cameras are doing great. I guess the trail is going this way. There's so much bamboo that is falling. Had to be from the storm. Alright, so let's take a second and talk about this bit rate issue that's going on. Now, I don't know why they decided to decrease it. Now, they did decrease it. So the Action 4 is recording at 130 megabits per second. The Action 5 Pro is at 100. So they did decrease it. And I'm sure it had something to do with keeping the battery life as high as possible and not overheating, because I know the Action 4 will get hot. I'll tell you what, let's walk back in this. Let's see how well it adjusts for my face. That's pretty quick. Yeah. And I mean, every now and then you can see in the corners, especially in low light, you can see down in the corners where it gets a little wonky looking. And I don't know if that's from the stabilization. I don't know if that's a bit rate issue or the new sensor. I just don't know. I do know that I never noticed that issue with the Action 4. You just see bamboo for days. Actually, not days. It's 26 acres. Wow, they cleaned up a lot since the last time I was down here. I guess the city has taken over the park, and they've cleaned a lot of it out. A lot of this was overgrown, and all this around the bank was overgrown. It looks really nice down here now. I think one great thing about these cameras is just the fact that you can grab them and go. You don't have to have a big shotgun mic hooked up to it. You don't have to have lenses or anything like that, or even ND filters. You just grab it, you hit record, you capture the footage you want to get. I saw one video where the guy was complaining about the fixed focus, how it doesn't have autofocus, and that just wouldn't do well for action. It's an action camera. It's not really meant for vlogging. If you want to vlog, I mean, really the Pocket 3 is more of a vlogging camera, but the Action 5 can be done it. But I think the minimum focus is 30 centimeters or 1 foot for the Action 5 Pro or the Action 4. If continuous autofocus is something that you really have to have, then the Pocket 3 is definitely the way to go. Not only does it have continuous autofocus, it also has product showcase to where if you hold a product up in front of the camera, it automatically focuses on that. So in my review of the Action 5 Pro, I talk a lot about little subtle incremental changes that they made to the Action 5 that just make the user experience so much better. I mean, just little things in the menu system, like being able to format your SD card faster. You know, used to you had to scroll all the way down to the bottom of the menu. Now it's right at the top. You just swipe right and there it is. Being able to select your field of view from the resolution menu. Now your resolution, your frame rate, your field of view, stabilization, all that is in one menu now, versus having to go through you know, the two buttons on the side and swiping and picking.
You hadn't seen a black dog running around here, had you?
I sure hadn't, man.
I appreciate it.
Hadn't seen anything but you.
Alright.
What kind of is it? Like a lab or small dog, big dog?
Between a lab, he's black with a white chest. His
Okay.
name's Bear. He's very friendly.
Okay, if I see him, I'll holler for him. While we're talking about formatting SD cards, now the Action 5 Pro has 47 gigs of internal storage. I don't know why it's taken till 2024 where we put internal storage on cameras. That's one of those things I don't understand why it's taking so long. Like, why are we not able to track by GPS where these cameras are? It puts the metadata in the images, you know. So maybe that's next, but we do have internal storage, and I can't tell you how many times that I've gotten somewhere, I turn on the camera and it says SD card not inserted. It's just about 3 times that's happened to me, and it's a bummer. Luckily phones record pretty well these days, and that was my backup, but still would have been nice if we had SD card or internal storage. You can't talk about DJI cameras without talking about how great the internal audio is. Whether it was the Action 3, the Action 4, the Action 5, the Pocket 3, all of them have fantastic internal audio. And they just keep getting better and better. So many times that I've realized that the internal audio coming out of the Action 5 Pro sounds better than the lavalier mic that I'm wearing from the DJI mic. Especially like when I'm riding in the car or something like that. Like, it just seems to isolate my voice a lot better than the lavalier mic does. So this is the audio that you can expect to get out of the Action 4. We're here at the Bamboo Forest doing a comparison between the Action 4, the Pocket 3, and the Action 5. This is the internal audio you can expect to get out of the Pocket 3. We're here at the Bamboo Forest doing a comparison between the Action 4, the Pocket 3, and the Action 5. This is the internal audio you can expect to get out of the Action 5 Pro. We're here at the Bamboo Forest doing a comparison between the Action 4, the Pocket 3, and the Action 5 Pro. And this is the audio you can expect to get out of the DJI mic with the DJI lavalier. We're here at the Bamboo Forest doing a comparison between the Action 4, the Pocket 3, and the Action 5. All right, now we're in the shade. How are each one of these cameras exposing for my face? Not gonna lie, the Action 4 looks a little bit overexposed. The Pocket 3 nails it every single time. Like, it's not even in the same category as these, but that has a lot to do with that 1-inch sensor. But the Action 5 Pro looks really, really good. And also, let's do a little moving back and forth so we can see how that bit rate, that lower bit rate, is affecting all the colors behind me. Also, we've been recording for 40 minutes now, and the battery life, I gotta turn it around. The battery life on the Action 5 is at 74%, on the Action 4 is at 39%, and on the Pocket 3 we're at 67%. So the Action 4 is almost halfway done with this battery, and we still got 75% left on the Action 5 Pro. Now this is 4K 30 rock steady plus stabilization. All right, we got another trail. Should we take it? This is a different kind of bamboo too. This is yellow. I think this is the other end of the trail that I was trying to get to down there, because it looks like it goes alongside that creek. But just look at the colors, man. I haven't even considered coming out here for photos. I bet we could get some wicked portraits out here. Alright, you can't talk about new features on the Action 5 Pro without talking about its addition to Active Track. Now the Pocket 3 has the same Active Track capabilities as all the DJI drones have, which is really incredible. It works extremely well, within reason, as long as you stay within the frame. It will kind of catch back up if you walk out, but so right now we got Active Track 2.7K 30 frames per second, 16:9 on the Action 5 Pro, and then we're 4K 30 on the Pocket 3. Now that's one advantage to the Pocket 3 is it's got the gimbal. It's able to turn and follow around and do it in 4K. So with the Action 5 Pro, what it's doing is cropping in on that 4K and giving you room to move around the frame. So here we are, and of course the Action 4 doesn't have this feature. Maybe it'll come some other time in an update, but as of right now we don't have it. So we're out here in the middle of all this bamboo. We're going to see how well it tracks. So here we go. As you can see, the Pocket 3 is just staying right there on me. But how cool is it that a fixed lens camera, fixed lens, fixed focus, can still just keep me in the center of that frame within reason? I mean, let's see how far over we can go. This is also in the standard field of view, so I imagine if we put it in ultra wide, it would, well, you know what, it probably won't work in ultra wide because it won't be able to crop in. Maybe I'm just extremely biased. I just love these cameras so much. You know, I sure hate that DJI is going through it with the US government. They are so good. I mean, it's just, they are very critical components to not just YouTube creators, content creators, but even Hollywood, man. That entire movie Civil War, actually I don't think the entire movie, but that movie Civil War was filmed on like 4 or 5 different, the chicken head, what is it, the Ronin 4D. I mean, DJI is just crushing it, but they're doing a great job of coming out with products that maybe can keep them in the game without having to worry about the drone so much. I sure hate to see, you know, them lose that market share, but we got electric mountain bike motors, we got power banks, solar power, what's the new, oh, and the interchangeable lens mirrorless camera that's rumored to be coming out very soon. Alright, so I was thinking of what would be the best way to test how much of a difference there is between the bit rates of these two cameras. So I figured we needed something with a lot of color, a lot of contrast, maybe some shadows, highlights, all that. So it made me think about this little alleyway right here. Tons of color, tons of texture. And let's just see if we can see a difference between any banding or pixelation. I know one thing, that OLED screen looks really good on the Action 5 Pro. Alright, are we seeing any banding or pixelation with the Action 5 Pro? Or better yet, tell me which one you think is the lower bitrate camera. I also forgot to mention one thing new over the Action 5 Pro over all the other Action series cameras is now we have dual OLED screens, front and rear. So the contrast, the color is just way more vibrant than it is on the LCD on the Action 4 and Action 3. I don't know how well that would translate on camera, but just looking at it here with the naked eye, you can see a clear difference. I mean, yeah, I get it. On spec sheet, it doesn't look as good. It's kind of a bad look to decrease your bit rate. But once you upload it to YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, wherever you're putting these clips, the compression it's not gonna make a difference in the end anyway. It's just some people are always looking for something to complain about. And that's why with the review of this camera, I said I didn't want to talk about specs. I just wanted to show in image quality how good this camera is. With 13.5 stops of dynamic range, I mean, just look at the sky behind me and then look at the shadows over here. Not gonna lie, the Action 4 looks all of them look good. So we are at 40% on the second battery of the Action 4, and we're at 24% on the first battery of the Action 5. Still recording 4K 30, rock steady plus, and the Pocket 3 is at 6%. So I've shown you the image quality, 4K 30. We talked about the bit rate issue, stabilization. What else? Oh, the new active track with the Action 5 Pro. I think built-in audio and how good it is. There's a pretty good breeze right now, and we're still doing internal audio across all three cameras. And there's a fountain in the background. There's the water below us. I guess really the only thing left to do is do a low light nighttime comparison. And with it being about 3 o'clock in the middle of the day, like super direct sunlight, look how well the Action 5 Pro is exposing for my face right now. I look a little blown out on this camera, but I might not be. It might just be the screen, but they all look super good. I guess the last thing to do is low light at night, and with it being 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I guess we're gonna have to wait a little bit, or with a little bit of YouTube magic, we can do it now. All right, like I said, with the power of YouTube magic, it would be dark before you knew it. So here we are, we're in downtown again, and we're gonna do a low light comparison of the Action 5 Pro and the Action 4 along with the Pocket 3. So we'll go over here into the street light so you can see. All the cameras are set up in auto exposure with ISO set to automatic 50 to 6400. They all seem to be doing pretty well. We'll walk over here in the shadows so we can get an idea of what kind of noise we're getting in the shadows. Now the Action 5 Pro does have a night mode, but this is just standard video, 4K 30 on all of them, rock steady plus. All right, let's see. So what kind of noise are we looking at in the shadows back here? From what I can tell, the Pocket 3 of course is killing it, but it looks like the Action 4 might be exposing for my face a little better. I don't know, I can kind of see a street light. I don't know, with the Action 4, my face does look a little bit better exposed, but also with the OLED on the Action 5, it might be more true to life. So I left my microphone at home, so this is internal audio on all three cameras. So we're going to take a lap around the block and see how the stabilization is going to do in night mode. Of course, with the Pocket 3, stabilization isn't an issue, but here, we'll go over here to these steps. Oh, and we were just talking about this earlier, how having that internal storage on the Action 5 is just a lifesaver, because I just left my SD card in my computer and didn't realize it until I got here. Once I got out of the car and powered it on, I was like, crap, but I was able to switch to internal storage. There's 48 gigs, so plenty of storage to be able to record just these few clips. All right, this is also auto white balance, so you can see with the orange street lights Seems to be looking pretty good. That 1-inch sensor on the Pocket 3 ain't no joke though. We'll do a couple laps, and I'm going to switch the Action 5 Pro into night mode, and then we'll see if there's a difference, if any. I think it just adjusts the auto ISO to have a expanded range, but I've never really been able to tell the difference, but I hadn't actually compared them side by side, so this will be the first. So let me put my phone in my pocket, and then we'll see if that stabilization will keep up. So let's see. Do pretty good. I don't want to go near the traffic. Too much noise. Now, stabilization is where all of these action cameras really struggle when it comes to low light. So let's see, here's some stairs. All right. Let's get away from these orange lights. The best coffee house around. Also, with that 100 megabit bit rate on the Action 5, are y'all noticing any pixelation or banding in the background? Check it out. Let's just look at this. Just look at this area over here, and maybe over here. Just look how more cleaner and crisp that white light looks. Maybe it's a white balance issue, but it just looks so much better. But then again, it could be the OLED screen. I wish I could show you the difference between the OLED and the LCD, but it just doesn't translate very well in camera. Just look at how much blacker the blacks are on the camera on the right. It's clearly the Action 5 Pro is on the right, the Action 4 is on the left, and the Pocket 3 is in the middle. These action cameras are known for having horrific blooming when it comes to being backlit or just lights in general at night, but it seems like the Action 5 is doing a really good job of the blooming. Alright, so now we're in the super night mode on the Action 5 Pro, and it does seem like it cleaned up the image quite a bit. It's definitely a lot brighter. Almost too bright. It's almost overexposed. It's definitely prioritizing exposure on my face now versus the Action 4. It is a little bright for my liking. Alright, so right now you can get the Action 5 Pro in the standard combo for $329. You can get the Adventure combo that comes with 2 additional of the new extreme batteries, along with the charging case and the extendable selfie stick for $449. But what that's done is opened up a great deal on the Action 4. If you're coming from the Action 3 and you don't need the subject tracking, and you don't need the extra low light, then you can pick up the Action 4 for $269, which is a killer deal. I don't know what the Adventure combo with the Action 4 is, but I'm sure it's not, much more than 300 bucks. So if you don't need all the new latest and greatest features, then picking up the generation before this one for a killer deal is a good option. All right, well, I'm sure dinner's ready. I got to get on back. Here, let's come over here. Alright, well that's going to do it for this one. I really do appreciate each and every one of y'all. Be sure to hit the like button if you found this at all helpful, and consider subscribing if you haven't already. Also, let me know in the comments if you can even tell a difference between the Action 5 and the Action 4. Can you notice a difference in the bit rate? Do you plan on picking up the Action 5, or do you think the Action 4 is good enough for now? So, as always, take care of yourselves. You know you deserve it. I'm Donnie B, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.